Welcome to the garage, and here it is, my 1972 Oldsmobile Cutlass. Talk about starting the show off with a bang. I accidentally recorded over day one of the first episode, which is a bummer. Luckily, I didn't get much done that day. So where we're starting with the car is fixing a repair I tried to make about 6 years ago. There was some rust in this door. I took it upon myself to try to cut the rust out and weld in a new piece of metal, which failed miserably. So now that I've got the welder all dialed in, I'm ready to actually go and make it right. What you missed in that first day is basically me trying to cut out a bigger hole and realizing that this die grinder just didn't have enough power to cut through it, and I had problems with the air compressor. This was just bogging down when I was trying to cut through the metal, so basically I needed to buy a better tool. And I did. I bought this actual cutoff wheel, and I also bought some cutoff discs for the angle grinder so that I was actually able to cut this out. So let's go to day 2 of working on this car. Okay, I thought that was going to be the easy part, and turned out to be the hardest, but it is now done. So I ended up going back to the angle grinder just a little bit for the bigger stuff. The new tool does work, but it just seems like the air compressor doesn't have enough volume or something like that to really run it really well. So you can only do it in short spurts, and then you have to let the air compressor catch up. So. Yeah, but everything worked out really well. That little tool was nice for getting into the corners, and then the angle grinder took out the big stuff really quick. So I now have a much larger hole in the car. What I got to do now is grind all the paint away, and then I'll use some cardboard and make a template for the new piece of metal, and then I'll weld it, and then I'll continue welding for probably the next 2 to 3 years. Spend a ton of money on it, put an engine in it, and be driving it. So it's a long-term goal, starting right here. Very, very long-term goal. Alright, if I'm being honest, I'm not so sure this is going to work. The problem I seem to be having is, I don't know, the lines that I made just aren't very straight, and I'm thinking there's going to be too much of a gap, especially here. I might try to cut a little piece of metal to go in there and see if I can kind of save this. So yeah, I'm pretty disappointed with how this is going so far. It's definitely a lesson that I need to really look at, how to get these panels cut out really well. So yeah, I'm gonna fire the welder up and see if I can kind of save this. And if not, to be honest, this whole door panel should probably be replaced anyway, so I mean, maybe that's what I'll end up doing. We'll see. But yeah, I'm gonna give this a try and see if it works out, and if not, oh well, at least I tried to do something right. Well, I'm not going to do a close-up on this because it's not great at all. Remember when I said if you're an actual welder, I'm sorry? Well, I stand by that statement. But I've got some weld all the way around it here. So what I'm going to do now is grind this down flat, and then I'll have to fill in some of these spots that didn't really weld quite nice. So there'll probably be 1 or 2 more rounds of welding around this. And yeah, Bondo is going to be my friend for sure if I keep doing my own body work. Oh man. You know, I think this is going to be one of the things that I laugh about in 10 years, like just how not great it is. But right now, in this moment, not 10 years from now, I'm really happy with this because it's the first actual piece of like work I've done to the car that's actually progressing it instead of just taking it apart further. So yeah, my welding is really, really bad, but I am still very happy about this. Now I got some grinding to do. Bondo applied to the front of the replacement panel, and I've painted the inside of the panel so that it hopefully won't rust. And I'm going to call it for the night here. I'm pretty happy with how this has turned out. So here's the thing. I have had this car for 6 years and nothing has been done to it except take it apart. This is the first time I have actually succeeded in fixing something on this car and making it this much closer to actually running and driving. So it would not surprise me at all if in the future I need to come back and fix this again. But at this point, I feel like if I keep worrying about trying to make it perfect and do everything 100% right, I'm just never going to drive it. Because that was the problem for the last 6 years, is I had all of these huge ideas of what I wanted to do. That's why I took it apart to the point that it is. Because I had this whole plan of doing a bottom-up restoration on the thing. And I mean, it's just, I don't think it's ever going to get to that level. And right now, I'm just dying to drive it. So I'm just going to do what I have to do to get it safe and roadworthy and then I'm gonna drive it. Hopefully it's not gonna take me another 6 years. So thanks for joining me on my first actual success with this car, and keep your eyes open because I'm gonna have a lot more videos with my car coming soon.